Everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm just doing a little playing around on some sample pieces that I picked up. As a matter of fact, I was shopping at Michael's Craft Store and came across these they're black ceramic coasters. And I thought, I'm doing all these slate tiles at times and wanted to see what maybe we could do with these. And they're not terribly expensive. I think they were $5 or $6 for a pack of 4, so kind of in line with your retail price on slate coasters. But I'm curious to see what happens with them in the laser. And so I'm going to at least sacrifice one of these to a test grid, see what it looks like after we engrave that on there. And then if that goes well, we'll fire some artwork through a couple more, see how they turn out. And I just thought I'd bring you along for the journey on a little bit of experimenting with the laser and some different materials. So if that's something you want to check out, I'm going to jump right into it. Alright, so just going to randomly take one of these tiles. We'll get that set in the middle. First thing we got to do is get this all focused up. So I'm going to drop down that bar. You know what? I'm going to do this with the cover off, just so it's easier to see in case it's getting gummed up. I'm going to drop that down, go right off the surface. Clamp back that. I love that focusing feature on this Algolaser. All right, let's go ahead and get the test grid set up and we'll get it burnt into this. All right, we've got the laser lined up and we've got it going from 10,000 to 20,000 millimeters a minute, 10 to 100% power. It says it's going to take about 23 minutes. We'll double check the framing. Looks like it's a just fit, so I'm going to go ahead and send it and see what the results are. All right, so the laser finished off and we did have some results, so we'll take a look at this. And this is just fresh off the laser. You see a little bit of declining quality there, but it's fairly consistent throughout the whole thing. That's probably due to two things. Doing these small squares, I'm sure it's not quite getting up to the speed that it would be normally. But also I'm going to just try cleaning this off really quick, see if we get any extra difference there. And then we'll take a look at it. All right, so we'll get in really close here. And it looks like, it's fairly consistent along this 20% up until about, 17,000 it starts fading off. So at 15 to 16, we can definitely run. So it's pretty much the same along the top end. I don't see much difference. We could try actually increasing our DPI. We may be getting some lines there. Because of the focus spot, it must be a little bit better than the 0.08 millimeter that we're dealing with here. If we're seeing some lines, we could also try doing a cross hatch where it would go both directions if we wanted a really clean one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple things. I want to try something that's just pretty much a straight engrave that, we're not looking for any shading, but I may actually try a photo as well. And we'll invert it and we'll try engraving on there and see, if we get any sort of variation here. It's going to be subtle, I think, because it really goes from black to white pretty quickly. But anyway, so I'm gonna throw a few more things in here. We'll see how they turn out and see if these are a viable option. All right, so I've run a few tests, and so first and foremost, I took a solid graphic, and which is just the channel logo, and it came out pretty well, but you hopefully can see in here, the white is a little what I would call, I don't know, splotchy a little bit. There's variations. It's not necessarily just a solid white color, and so that might not be the look you're going for. I'm not sure. I mean, I could try adding some finish to these and see if it smooths out a little bit, but it definitely isn't like the pure clear white color. It's just kind of like there's like water spots or something throughout the material. So I went ahead and then tried a couple of more photorealistic engravings, and so here's one that is actually more of a AI cat or a kitten, and came out pretty well with the detail, maybe a little bit washed out, but overall not too bad. And you know, the pixelated nature of it is okay, but if you get in on kind of the center belly there, again, you're getting a little bit of that kind of just variations in the white, kind of like I say, that splotchy look to it. And so then I took one that maybe had a little more detail, a little less solid areas. So this is just like an owl flying at the camera. And again, came out pretty well, and there's less solid white areas, so that kind of effect is hidden. So that's about the only thing that I found with this that I didn't like. But overall, they engraved really well. I was able to run this at a higher speed on the Algolaser of about 15,000 millimeters a minute, and we were running at 50% power, I believe, for most of that. So not straining it in any way at all. But yeah, that kind of washed out look on there. You know, you're just getting kind of just a non-consistent white. Might not be what you're looking for. However, as far as a tile, you do have just a nice clean background, nice clean edges, nice flat look to it at all. And so if that's the look you're going for, this is definitely an option. Now, if you want really vivid blacks to whites, you might want to stick with painting regular tile and be able to get that cleaner white, but it's going to be more work, and you won't get necessarily the nice finished back. So this is just a kind of a quick experiment with some material I found at the store, and thought I would pass on some of my tests, see how it came out for you. And so if you'd like to play around with these, I'll try to put a link down below to these where I found them at Michael's. You can order them online, or if you have a local store, of course, you'll be able to get them there as well. And you know, do some of your own playing. If you do, let me know how it goes. Maybe you found some tricks or some speeds with your laser that you found work better. I'd love to hear that as well. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope this was informative for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get out into your workshop and make something too. I'll catch you next time.